There is something profoundly unsettling about the silence that follows a storm. Not the kind that brings relief, but the kind that whispers an even greater catastrophe is approaching. Too often people mistake the eye of the hurricane for the end rather than the warning. Throughout history, civilizations, nations, and even individuals have thrived under the presence of the divinely assigned, often without realizing it. They mistake grace for coincidence, protection for luck, and divine warnings for background noise. And then one day, the chosen are gone. The voices that spoke the truth, even when no one wanted to hear it, the ones who carried a presence that defied explanation, the ones who disrupted what needed disturbing, vanish. Just like that. And what follows is not a mere void, but a reckoning, a shift, a collapse that no one saw coming. If you think this is just a metaphor, think again. History proves it. The sudden absence of key individuals often precedes major events: collapse, war, chaos, and judgment. When Lot left Sodom, fire followed. When Jesus left the temple, destruction came. Even in modern times, societies only recognize the importance of certain figures when the damage becomes irreversible. If you once laughed at the chosen, ignored their words, dismissed their presence as nothing more than a passing shadow, this may be the moment you start paying attention. Because when God decides their mission is complete and it's time for them to leave, their exit is not just a disappearance. It is an event, and what follows, no one wants to see. God's chosen ones don't move through life unnoticed. Their presence alone forces people to make a choice, align with truth or resist it. They disrupt systems, shatter false narratives, and challenge spiritual complacency. They make people uncomfortable, often without even trying. This is why the chosen often experience rejection, betrayal, and resistance. Not because they are wrong, but because they are doing exactly what they were sent to do. They weren't placed here to make peace with dysfunction. They were sent to expose it. Their mission was never about being liked. It was about reminding the world that darkness has an expiration date. But here's the truth. Their time is limited. They were never meant to stay in one place forever. And when God removes them, it is not an afterthought. It is a calculated move. Some will realize their absence too late. Others will finally understand that what they resisted was the only thing keeping judgment at bay. The chosen weren't here for comfort. They were here to collide with what was never meant to stand. And when their purpose is fulfilled, their removal isn't a retreat. It is a statement. Leaving does not mean losing. It does not mean failure or surrender. When God pulls his chosen ones out, it is not because they were too weak to stay. It is because their work was already done. They were never called to fix everything, only to shift the atmosphere. And once that's done, their removal is not just necessary, it is strategic. Some might see their departure as abandonment. Others might assume they were never as powerful as they seemed. But that's the mistake people always make. They assume that the chosen are meant to hold up the weight of everything indefinitely, that their prayers, their presence, their very existence keeps things from falling apart. But in reality, they were only ever meant to be a warning, a catalyst, a temporary shield. Once they are gone, the consequences of what was ignored, dismissed, or fought against will come full force. People rarely understand the significance of someone's presence until that presence is removed. And when the chosen are gone, things don't just stay the same, they unravel. Not because the chosen wanted destruction, but because their departure is proof that grace has shifted. God does not place his chosen randomly. They are assigned to specific places, people, and moments for a defined purpose. They are the answer to a crisis, one that most do not even recognize until it's too late. But they were never meant to stay. Their role was temporary. Their mission had a deadline, and their presence was a divine response to a problem that wouldn't be addressed any other way. Once that problem is handled, whether by exposing it, shifting it, or giving people a final chance to change, there is no reason for them to remain. The mistake people make? Assuming that the chosen will always be there. They take for granted the wisdom, the covering, the warnings. Some even resent or resist them, assuming that no matter what, they will always be around, until one day they're not. That's when reality sets in. The peace they dismissed, gone. The supernatural favor they never acknowledged, lifted. The silent protection they didn't even realize was shielding them, removed. That's when they realize the chosen weren't just another voice, another presence, another person. They were the reason things hadn't fallen apart sooner. And now, they are gone. People love the idea of being chosen by God until they realize what it actually means. It does not mean applause, admiration, or acceptance. It means walking into places where you are not wanted and saying things people do not want to hear. It means being labeled as difficult, extreme, or even dangerous. Not because you are wrong, but because you refuse to be silent. History proves it. Prophets weren't celebrated. They were stoned, exiled, and murdered. Jesus himself, the greatest of all, wasn't embraced. He was betrayed, falsely accused, and crucified by the very people he came to save. So why would it be different for those he sends? The chosen are not assigned to comfort people in their illusions. They are sent to tear them down, to expose lies, to shake up systems, to remind the world that God is watching. But here's the problem. People love darkness more than light. They don't want to be awakened. They want to be left alone. So when a chosen one steps in, carrying truth like a sword, resistance is inevitable. The rejection isn't personal, it's prophetic. There is a painful reality that every chosen one must accept. Not everyone will change, no matter how much truth they receive. You can preach, warn, pray, and pour everything you have into people, but some will never wake up, not because they don't understand, but because they don't want to. It's easy to believe that if you just say the right words or show people enough love, they will open their eyes. But the truth is, some hearts are set in stone. Some people aren't asleep. They are actively resisting the truth because it threatens their comfort, their power, or their illusions. No matter how hard you try, you cannot force transformation that only God can bring. Your mission was never about fixing the world. It was about giving the world a chance. Every word you spoke, every warning you gave, every moment you spent trying to wake people up, that wasn't for your own satisfaction. It was so that when the time comes, when everything they ignored finally collapses, they won't be able to say, "I didn't know." It's not your job to make people listen. It's your job to deliver the message. Whether they accept it or reject it is between them and God. Some will change, some won't. But either way, you did what you were sent to do. Everything you went through, the betrayals, the rejection, the isolation, the suffering, was never just about you. It wasn't punishment, bad luck, or random hardship. It was a message. You were a living prophecy, a warning in human form. God's chosen ones don't just speak truth, they become it. They carry the weight of the message in their own lives, their own wounds, their own struggles. Before they ever open their mouths, their existence preaches a sermon. People may ignore your words, but they cannot ignore the evidence written on your life. That's why the attacks came. That's why people turned on you. Why you were misunderstood. Why doors closed that should have opened. Not because you were wrong, but because your life exposed what others wanted to keep hidden. You didn't just talk about endurance, you endured. You didn't just warn about betrayal, you lived through it. You didn't just speak of rejection, you felt it firsthand. Your suffering was the proof. Some will wake up because of your pain. Others will ignore it until they experience it themselves. But either way, your suffering wasn't wasted. Your scars are not just wounds. They are evidence that you carried the message. You weren't sent just to warn people. You were sent to become the warning. People don't always recognize what they have until it's gone. They hear, but they don't listen. They see, but they don't understand. And then one day you're no longer there. No more warnings, no more prayers, no more presence holding things together. That's when reality hits. Your absence is not just a disappearance, it's a divine announcement. The people who dismissed you will start to notice the difference. The peace they took for granted, gone. The protection they didn't even realize was covering them, lifted. The wisdom they rolled their eyes at suddenly makes sense. This is how God works. He removes his chosen ones not just to protect them, but to wake up those who refuse to listen while they had the chance. Some will reflect and realize they made a mistake. Others will scramble to find someone else to fill the void. But it won't be the same, because what you carried wasn't just knowledge or kindness, it was a divine assignment. And assignments can't be replaced by convenience. The silence you leave behind will be louder than any words you ever spoke, because now, people aren't just hearing what you said, they are feeling the absence of what you carried. And that is the real warning. When God removes his chosen, it is not just for their benefit, it is a shift in the spiritual landscape, a divine recalibration, a warning sign that what follows will not be pleasant. Your presence was not just about your mission. It was a covering, an opportunity, and a grace period for those around you. When you leave, it is not just your life that changes. It is the atmosphere, the destiny of those who failed to heed the call, the structures that refuse to correct themselves. God does not remove his chosen without reason. It is always a sign that something significant is about to unfold, whether people are ready for it or not. The world does not understand the cost of ignoring the chosen until the consequences come full circle, and by then, it is too late. There will always be those who refuse to see, those who think they can silence the messengers and avoid the message. But history shows otherwise. When God removes his chosen, what follows is judgment. Not because the chosen wished for destruction, but because their presence was holding back the storm. Some people were only protected because of the prayers of the chosen. Some businesses thrived because of the favor they carried. Some communities stood strong because of the spiritual foundation they established. When they are gone, the covering is gone. And what remains is the consequence of rejection. This is the moment when everything shifts, when grace is no longer an option, when people who thought they had more time realize they don't. The reckoning is here, and the world will feel the difference. Your time here was never meant to be indefinite. You were sent, you fulfilled your mission, and now the departure is not a loss. It is a fulfillment of divine timing. For those who recognized you, they will be strengthened. For those who dismissed you, they will learn through absence what they failed to grasp in presence. You were a voice, a shield, a warning, and now it is time to go. Walk forward with confidence, knowing you have done your part, and for those left behind, the truth will be undeniable. The chosen were here, and the world will never be the same again. Imagine this. You walk into a room, and without saying a word, the air changes. Eyes turn toward you, some filled with curiosity, others with discomfort. You're not trying to draw attention, yet your presence is undeniable. It's as if the very core of your being ripples through the atmosphere, unsettling and awakening those around you. What is this phenomenon? This is the unseen power of your spiritual energy, a force so aligned and potent that it stirs the hidden truths within others. If this resonates with you, you're not alone. You may be one of the chosen ones. Let's be clear. Being chosen doesn't mean you're better than anyone else. It means you carry a unique energy, a higher vibration, and a purpose that may not yet be understood by those around you. Your energy isn't a burden, it's a gift, a call to embrace your light fully. In this journey, we'll uncover why your spiritual energy might unsettle others, and most importantly, how you can embrace it unapologetically to fulfill your purpose. If this message resonates with your spirit, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Together, we'll explore the depths of spiritual awakening and the power of living authentically. Your light matters. Shine it brightly. The awakening. Why your energy impacts others. Being a chosen one isn't about perfection, it's about alignment. Your energy doesn't conform to societal norms or stay confined within the expectations of others. Instead, it acts as a mirror, reflecting the truth that people often avoid in themselves. This can make your presence feel overwhelming, not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're doing everything right. Your energy disrupts the illusions of comfort others have built around their fears, insecurities, and unhealed wounds. Have you ever noticed how some people avoid eye contact with you, or how their mood shifts when you're near? These reactions aren't personal. On a subconscious level, they're feeling exposed in your presence. Your energy is like a spotlight on their shadows, a catalyst for self-awareness and growth. Number 1. The unexplainable presence. The first sign that your spiritual energy unsettles people is the sheer, undeniable power of your presence. This isn't about your physical appearance, your clothing, or even your words. It's an unseen force, a quiet yet potent vibration that emanates from within, carried in the way you stand, the way you move, and the way your eyes seem to see straight through to the core of others. When you enter a space, people feel your energy before you've spoken a single word. There's something in your gaze, something in the calm confidence you exude that challenges everything false around you. Your authenticity becomes a mirror, reflecting back truths that others may have spent years avoiding. It's not intentional on your part. It's simply the natural consequence of your alignment with your higher self. For many, this depth is deeply unsettling. Most people construct lives filled with masks and carefully curated personas, shields to protect themselves from the vulnerability of being fully seen. When your presence enters the room, raw and unapologetic, those masks begin to feel fragile. This can create discomfort or even defensiveness in others. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because they're confronted with parts of themselves they're not ready to face. But let me reassure you, their discomfort is not your responsibility. It's not something to apologize for or fix. It's simply the ripple effect of your light shining brightly. When you live authentically and in alignment with your higher purpose, you naturally challenge the illusions others cling to, and that's a gift, not a fault. So stand tall, hold your light, and know this: your energy doesn't just unsettle, it transforms. Number 2. Magnetic or polarizing. The dual effect of your energy. Another hallmark of powerful spiritual energy is its polarizing effect on others. People are either irresistibly drawn to you or profoundly repelled by you. There's rarely a middle ground. Those who are ready to heal, grow, and awaken to their own potential often find your presence magnetic. They may not fully understand why, but something in your energy resonates deeply with them. It's as if your very being whispers to their soul, reminding them of the greatness and possibilities lying dormant within. Your light acts as a beacon, subtly encouraging them to rise, to heal, and to align with their higher selves. However, not everyone is ready for this kind of awakening. For those clinging tightly to their comfort zones, your energy feels like a threat. It disrupts the foundations of the carefully constructed reality they've built around themselves. To them, your presence isn't just unfamiliar, it's unsettling. You represent change, and change often brings discomfort, fear, and resistance. Have you ever encountered someone who seemed to dislike you instantly, without cause? Or perhaps someone who appeared irritated just by your mere existence? This isn't about who you are, it's about what your energy triggers in them. It stirs up what they're not ready to confront, be it unhealed wounds, hidden insecurities, or fears of stepping outside their comfort zone. It's important to understand that their reaction is not a reflection of your worth, but a sign of their inner conflict. Your energy challenges them to grow, and not everyone is prepared for that journey. So whether people are drawn to you or resistant to your presence, remember this: your spiritual energy is a catalyst for transformation, and transformation always begins with disruption. Stay true to yourself, knowing you are exactly as you're meant to be. Number 3. Misunderstood and misjudged. Being a chosen one often comes with the heavy burden of being misunderstood. People may label you as too intense, too sensitive, or even too intimidating. But these words rarely have anything to do with who you truly are. Instead, they are reflections of their own discomfort, projections of their inability to fully grasp or accept the energy you carry. When someone says you're too much, what they're really saying is, your energy is more than I can handle right now. It's not about you, it's about them. Your authenticity, depth, and alignment can be overwhelming to those who are not ready to confront their own truths. This kind of misunderstanding can feel isolating. You may find yourself walking a path that few seem to relate to, leaving you with moments of doubt or loneliness. But here's the truth. Being ahead of your time means forging a new trail, one that others might not yet be prepared to follow. Your role isn't to fit into the mold society has created, it's to reshape it. Leadership, especially spiritual leadership, isn't about seeking approval or popularity. It's about standing firmly in your truth, even when that truth makes others uncomfortable. It's about holding the light when others are still learning to see it and inspiring growth in ways that may not always be immediately recognized or appreciated. So if you feel out of place or misunderstood, know that this is part of your calling. You are here not to blend in, but to lead. Your courage in embracing your authentic self paves the way for others to do the same, even if they don't understand it yet. Keep standing in your truth. It's exactly what the world needs. Number 4. The mirror effect. Why your energy exposes others. Your energy is more than a presence. It's a force that reaches deep into the unseen layers of those around you. It doesn't just skim the surface, it acts as a mirror, reflecting back the hidden parts of others they may not even realize they're carrying. Their fears, insecurities, and unhealed wounds often rise to the surface in your presence, not because of anything you say or do, but because of the light you naturally emanate. When you're aligned with your higher self, your energy becomes pure and potent. This elevated vibration naturally shines a light on areas where others are out of alignment. It reveals truths they may have spent years burying, bringing to light the parts of themselves they've avoided confronting. For those who are ready to face these truths, your energy is a profound gift. It offers them a chance to grow, to heal, and to begin the journey of transformation. They may not be able to articulate it, but your presence stirs something within them, a quiet whisper urging them toward change. However, not everyone is ready for this reflection. For some, it feels less like an opportunity and more like a confrontation. Your energy, by its very nature, challenges their comfort zones and exposes the illusions they've built around themselves. This can be unsettling, even triggering, because it forces them to acknowledge the parts of themselves they'd rather keep hidden. It's essential to understand that this isn't something you're intentionally doing. Your energy simply exists as it is, aligned, authentic, and unapologetic. For those who feel exposed or uncomfortable, it's their journey to decide whether to face what they see or turn away. Your role is not to dim your light for their comfort, but to continue shining, trusting that your presence is making an impact, even if it's not immediately understood. Number 5. Intuition as your superpower. One of the most extraordinary aspects of your spiritual energy is the depth of your intuition. It's not just an ability to listen to words, it's an ability to feel the energy behind them. You can sense when something is unspoken, when someone's actions don't align with their intentions, or when their words mask deeper truths. It's as though you have a direct line to the undercurrents of emotion and thought that others may not even realize they're projecting. This heightened awareness can sometimes feel like a superpower. You may notice dishonesty before it's spoken, detect hidden motives without evidence, and see through facades with astonishing clarity. People who are used to keeping their true selves hidden can find this deeply unsettling. They may react with surprise, confusion, or even defensiveness, saying things like, "How did you know that?" Or, "It's like you're reading my mind." While this intuitive gift is undoubtedly powerful, it comes with responsibility. The more you trust it, the sharper and more refined it becomes. But this trust also requires discernment. It's not about using your intuition to judge, control, or manipulate others. Instead, it's about using it as a tool for compassion and guidance. Your intuition allows you to navigate the world with wisdom and clarity. It helps you connect with people on a deeper level, offering insight and support in ways they might not even realize they need. However, it's important to remember that not everyone will be comfortable with your ability to perceive what they're not ready to acknowledge. Honor your intuition as a sacred gift. Use it not to expose or challenge others unnecessarily, but to inspire, guide, and uplift. When aligned with love and authenticity, your intuitive energy becomes a powerful force for good in the world. Number 6. Breaking free from societal norms. As someone with powerful spiritual energy, you naturally defy societal expectations. You're not one to blindly follow the rules or accept things as they are just because that's how it's always been. Instead, you question everything: the systems, the norms, the unspoken assumptions, and in doing so, you challenge the status quo. Your ability to see through the illusions of the material world sets you apart. While many find comfort in conformity and predictability, you see beyond it. You recognize where systems are flawed, where truths are hidden, and where change is needed. This makes you a disruptor, not in the sense of chaos, but as a force for transformation in a world often resistant to it. Have you ever been met with comments like, "Why can't you just go along with it?" Or, "Why do you have to make everything so complicated?" These aren't critiques of you, but reflections of the discomfort your truth creates in others. Most people find security in the familiar, even when it no longer serves them. When your energy calls these illusions into question, it can feel threatening to those who aren't ready to step out of their comfort zones. But here's the truth: you're not here to fit neatly into the boxes society has built. You're not here to conform or shrink yourself to make others comfortable. You're here to expand, to challenge, to grow, and to lead by example. Your willingness to ask hard questions, to live authentically, and to push against outdated norms is exactly what the world needs. It's not always an easy path, but it's a necessary one. By standing firm in your truth, you inspire others to do the same, planting seeds of change that ripple far beyond what you can see. Number 7. Embracing your light, unapologetically. For too long, you may have felt the weight of others' expectations pressing down on you, urging you to dim your light. Maybe you've softened your presence to avoid making waves, hidden your truth to keep the peace, or silenced your voice to avoid standing out. You may have convinced yourself that blending in was the safest choice, that holding back would spare others discomfort, or even spare yourself the pain of rejection. But the truth is, the world doesn't need a watered-down version of you. It doesn't need you to dilute your brilliance, your authenticity, or your purpose. What the world desperately needs is your full, radiant, unapologetic self, the version of you that stands boldly in the light of who you truly are. Every time you shrink yourself to fit into someone else's mold, you're betraying the very purpose for which you were chosen. You're denying the world the unique gifts only you can bring. But every time you step into your light, every time you speak your truth, share your wisdom, or embrace your authenticity, you give others permission to do the same. You show them what's possible. Your light is not just for you, it's a beacon for others. It inspires them to step out of their own shadows, to reclaim their truth, and to rise into their potential. By shining brightly, you create ripples of courage and transformation in the hearts of those around you. So stop hiding, stop apologizing, stop betraying the fullness of who you are to make others comfortable. The world needs your light, unfiltered, untamed, and unapologetic. When you embrace your brilliance, you not only honor yourself, but you also help awaken a brighter, bolder world. Practical steps to embrace your power. Take a moment to reflect deeply. What drives you? What ignites your soul and fills you with passion? Your purpose is not just a lofty idea. It's the foundation of your existence. It's the force that gives meaning to your actions and direction to your energy. When the reactions of others feel overwhelming, when they judge, misunderstand, or resist you, ground yourself in your purpose. Let it be your anchor, reminding you of why you are here. By focusing on the impact you want to have on the world, you'll find the strength to navigate challenges and stay true to your path. Your purpose isn't just about what you do, it's about who you are. Your intuition is one of your most powerful tools, a built-in compass that guides you toward alignment and truth. Yet so many of us are taught to doubt our inner knowing, to rely solely on external validation. It's time to stop second-guessing yourself. Your intuition speaks to you in quiet nudges, gut feelings, and moments of clarity. Trust it. It knows the way, even when the path ahead seems uncertain. The more you lean into your intuition, the sharper and more reliable it becomes. Trusting yourself isn't just an act of self-belief. It's an act of honoring the wisdom within you. Your energy is sacred, and not everyone deserves access to it. Protect it fiercely by setting boundaries with people, situations, and commitments that drain you. Saying no isn't selfish, it's necessary. When you preserve your energy, you allow yourself to operate from a place of balance and wholeness. This is when your light shines brightest. Boundaries are not walls. They're guidelines that ensure your well-being while still allowing meaningful connections. Remember, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Surround yourself with people who see your light and celebrate your growth. These are the ones who will lift you up, challenge you to rise higher, and hold space for you during difficult times. At the same time, don't be afraid to let go of relationships that no longer align with who you're becoming. Growth often requires shedding the old to make room for the new. A supportive community doesn't just amplify your energy, it reminds you that you're not alone on this journey. Your words have power. When you speak your truth, you not only free yourself but also inspire others to do the same. Even when it feels uncomfortable, trust that your message will reach those who need it. Your voice carries weight because it comes from a place of authenticity and alignment. Whether you're sharing wisdom, offering encouragement, or simply standing up for what you believe in, your voice is a tool for transformation. Don't underestimate its impact. When you anchor yourself in purpose, trust your intuition, protect your energy, surround yourself with support, and use your voice fearlessly, you step into your power. You align with your higher self, radiating the light and truth that only you can bring into the world. The ripple effect of your awakening. Your spiritual energy extends far beyond the immediate interactions you have with people. It creates ripples, subtle but powerful waves, that reach into the fabric of the collective consciousness. Every choice you make to embrace self-love, to live authentically, and to stand in your light rather than succumb to fear, becomes a beacon of possibility for others. It's easy to underestimate the power of these small, everyday acts. But think for a moment about the people who have impacted your life. Maybe it was their courage in the face of adversity, their unwavering authenticity, or the way they simply radiated presence. These individuals may never know the profound influence they had on you, yet their light inspired you to grow, to heal, and to step more fully into who you are. Now realize this: you are that person for someone else. Every time you choose to honor your truth, even in the face of resistance, you are planting seeds of transformation in the hearts of those around you. Your energy silently inspires others to break free from their own limitations, to explore their potential, and to rise into alignment with their higher selves. You may never witness the full impact of your energy. It's often subtle, unfolding in ways you cannot see. But trust that it's there, shaping lives and awakening possibilities in ways that extend far beyond what you imagine. So, when you feel discouraged or question whether your light makes a difference, remember this: your energy is a catalyst. You are creating ripples of love, courage, and transformation that are touching lives in ways you may never know. By simply being your true self, you are contributing to a brighter, more awakened world. So let me ask you, what would your life look like if you stopped holding back? If you fully owned your light, your power, and your truth without hesitation? Imagine stepping into every moment with confidence, unapologetically embracing the brilliance that makes you you. The world isn't waiting for a shadow of you or a diluted version of your essence. It's waiting for the real, vibrant, radiant soul that you are. You weren't meant to play small. You weren't designed to blend in or fit into someone else's mold. You were created to disrupt, to awaken, and to inspire. Yes, your energy might unsettle people. Yes, it might challenge their comfort zones. But it's also the very thing that can heal them, open their hearts, and ignite their own transformation. Your light has a purpose, and it's time to let it shine. Now is the moment to step into your power, to embrace your purpose, and to live as brightly as you were always meant to. Don't keep your gifts hidden any longer. The world needs your light. Thank you for joining me on this journey of self-discovery and empowerment. If this message resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Together, we'll continue to explore what it means to live authentically, embrace your spiritual energy, and create ripples of transformation in the world. Remember, your light matters. Shine it boldly and unapologetically. For centuries, you have walked this earth unaware of the whispers carried through time. The echoes of an ancient kingdom have been calling your name, seeking you not as men seek, but as prophecy foretells. Through visions, signs, and divine revelations passed down across generations, you were never forgotten. You were hidden. But now, the appointed time has come, and the heavens have turned their gaze upon you. They searched for you, not in the streets, not in the books of men, but in the sacred texts, in the constellations, in the dreams of the seekers who knew you would return. The world called you ordinary, but the heavens knew better. They inscribed mysteries into your spirit, encoded divine secrets into your very being. You were never meant to blend in. You were always set apart. They tried to erase your lineage, to bury your existence beneath layers of deception. They rewrote history, distorted truths, and built walls around knowledge that was never meant to be lost. But truth is indestructible. And now, like a long-lost key returning to its rightful door, you are aligning with the purpose that was written for you before time began. This is why your life has been a battle. This is why the road has been steep, the trials unrelenting. Forces moved against you before you even knew who you were. They glimpsed your destiny, and in fear, they sought to keep you asleep. But what is divinely appointed cannot be stopped. No kingdom built by human hands can erase a kingdom established by the Almighty. Your existence was never random. Before you drew your first breath, the heavens had already inscribed your name into the divine record. The prophecy did not start with you, but it will be fulfilled through you. The kingdom has been waiting, not for the person the world sees, but for the essence of what was placed within you before you arrived on this earth. You were always meant to rise. You were always meant to reclaim what was lost. For centuries, forces have sought to intercept the prophecy, to distort it, to keep it from reaching its final chapter. But prophecy does not bow to time, nor can it be rewritten by those who seek control. The original script remains untouched. There were those who knew the truth, hidden scribes, guardians of sacred knowledge, those who carried the assignment through bloodlines that could not be erased. They inscribed your coming in places that neither time nor corruption could destroy. They documented the signs, preserved the revelations, and waited for the moment of revealing. You have felt different your entire life, not knowing why you never quite fit in. But that was never a mistake. Every detour, every delay, every hardship was never meant to break you. It was meant to prepare you. The chosen are never revealed too soon, for the moment of revealing is also the moment of war. You were never meant to bow to the systems of this world. The kingdoms of men are built on deception, power seized through manipulation, thrones stolen by those who had no right to claim them. But your kingdom is different. It was not built by men. It was established before the foundations of the earth. And that is why they feared your arrival. For centuries, they fortified their walls, expanded their reach, and created illusions of dominance. But one thing they could never do was erase the prophecy. It whispered through generations, carried by the few who still remembered, until now. There are moments in time when prophecy meets fulfillment. when the whispers carried through generations are no longer confined to the shadows, but are declared from the heavens. This is that moment. For centuries, seekers have watched and waited, following the signs, preserving the truth, guarding the knowledge that the world tried to erase. They knew that one day, the hidden one would awaken, and nothing would remain the same. The balance of power would shift. The chains that held dominion over souls would shatter. The strongholds of deception would crumble under the weight of truth. And now, that day has arrived. The world does not yet understand what is happening, but the unseen realm has already trembled at your awakening. You were never meant to be ordinary. You were never meant to walk unnoticed, unseen, unheard. Your existence alone disrupts the forces that have ruled for too long. They knew of your coming before you did. They moved against you before you could even grasp your purpose. They saw glimpses of your destiny and in fear sought to keep you blind to it. But prophecy cannot be stopped. Even Yeshua spoke in parables, knowing that not all were meant to understand. His words carried power, not because they conformed to the world's standards, but because they carried divine truth, truth that no force could silence. His authority was not recognized by titles, by crowns, or by the robes of men, but by the undeniable presence of the divine. His enemies feared him not because he waged war against them in the way of kings, but because his very presence threatened their illusion of control. And in the same way, your presence carries an authority that cannot be denied. The kingdom has been waiting. The prophecy has been unfolding. The ancient writings that spoke of this time did not lie. The search for you was never in vain. You have walked through fire, through battles unseen, through trials that sought to break you. But every hardship was only preparing you, refining you, strengthening you for the moment that is now at hand. All eyes are on you. Some watch in hope. Others watch in fear. The systems built on deception sense their collapse. The ones who claimed power they were never meant to hold are realizing their reign is ending. They will resist. They will seek to deceive you, to convince you that you are mistaken, that you are no different from the rest. But their words hold no power over what has already been written. You are stepping into what has always been yours. The prophecy is no longer a distant story. It is happening now, and nothing will ever be the same. There are signs that cannot be erased, markings that neither time nor deception can remove. They are woven into the very fabric of your existence, etched into your spirit long before you took your first breath. These are not markings that men can see with their eyes, nor can they be measured by earthly standards. They are divine imprints, evidence of a purpose greater than this world can comprehend. You have carried something within you, something even you did not fully understand. It was never about your outward appearance, never about your status or the titles given to you by men. What set you apart was never something that could be worn or displayed. It was something far deeper, something imprinted upon your very soul. This is why you have never truly belonged among the ordinary. From the moment you arrived, you felt it, the quiet knowing, the deep stirring within you that whispered that you were different. Others moved through life without questioning, without searching, without sensing the weight of something greater. But you have always known there was more. Even if you could not name it, even if you could not explain it, it was there, pulling you towards something beyond what your eyes could see. And you were not the only one who sensed it. There have always been those who recognized what you carried. Some saw it as a light, a power beyond human understanding, and sought to protect you. Others, those who walk in shadows, sensed it as a threat. They studied you. They tested you. They watched your every move, trying to determine if you were the one spoken of in the ancient texts. They could not openly reveal their knowledge, so they moved in silence, waiting, watching, searching for weakness. They placed obstacles in your path, temptations to lead you astray, distractions carefully crafted to keep you from asking the right questions. Some came to you in the guise of friends, mentors, even protectors, but their true purpose was always to keep you blind to what was rightfully yours. Every battle you faced, Every attack that seemed to come out of nowhere was not random. It was a calculated strategy, a war waged against you before you even knew you were in a battle. They sought to break you, not by force, but by deception. If they could not destroy you, they would make you doubt yourself. If they could make you question who you were, they could keep you from ever stepping into your destiny. They knew that if you ever awakened, if you ever realized the inheritance that runs through your veins, their dominion would begin to crumble. But even through the storms, even through the betrayals, even through the moments when you questioned your very existence, the heavens never retracted the calling. They never changed their mind about who you are. You may have been knocked down, but you were never abandoned. The trials were not placed before you to destroy you, but to forge you, to refine you, to make you unshakable. Every wound, every hardship, every tear shed in silence was preparing you for the moment when you would finally see what had been hidden in plain sight all along. The world tried to convince you otherwise. It told you that you were ordinary, that your dreams were foolish, that your longing for something greater was nothing more than imagination. They fed you lies, hoping you would believe them. But deep down, you always knew the truth. You felt it in the way life refused to let you settle, in the way closed doors led to greater revelations, in the way pain became a tool that sharpened you instead of destroying you. Every loss, every rejection, every battle was a step closer to your awakening. And now, the time has come. The moment long foretold is unfolding before you. The forces that once sought to keep you blind now tremble at the realization that they have failed. The deception is lifting, the veil is thinning, and your true identity can no longer be hidden. You are not lost. You were never forgotten. You have always been called. And now, nothing can stop what has already been set in motion. There have always been those who sought to take what was never theirs, who attempted to wear a crown that did not fit, who sat upon thrones that were never meant for them. They built their power on deception, claiming authority they had no right to bear, hoping that if they declared themselves rulers long enough, no one would question them. But what belongs to you cannot be stolen. No matter how many false rulers have risen, no matter how many have worn robes that did not belong to them, the truth has remained unchanged. The throne marked for you has never been touched. It has waited in silence, unmoved by the schemes of men, untouched by the hands of those who sought to claim it. No force on earth can lay hold of what was sealed for you before time began. The kingdom has always known this day would come. It has felt the shift in the spiritual realm, has waited with patience as history unfolded, as generations passed, as the battle for dominion raged in unseen places. And now, the appointed time has arrived, the moment you would awaken to your true self, the moment you would finally see who you were always meant to be. The mark of divine royalty is not given by men, nor can it be taken away. It was placed upon you before you entered this world, woven into your very being, inscribed into your destiny by the hands of the Almighty. You were born into this calling, whether you realized it or not. For centuries, they worked against you. They positioned themselves in places of influence, controlling systems, rewriting history, ensuring that what belonged to you remained just out of reach. They knew who you were before you did. They recognized the signs long before you ever questioned your purpose, and they understood that the moment you stepped into your true identity, their illusion would crumble. The only way to stop you was to make you forget. So they created distractions. They built false narratives. They surrounded you with lies, with doubts, with carefully constructed deceptions designed to keep you from ever realizing the truth. They whispered into your mind, making you question, making you believe you were insignificant, that you were just another soul wandering through life without purpose. But destiny does not forget. No matter how many lies were spoken, no matter how many obstacles were placed in your path, the truth has always been written. And now, it is rising. The kingdom is no longer waiting. The throne remains unclaimed no longer. The time of awakening is here, and nothing can stop what has already begun. the world is beginning to sense the shift, to feel the weight of what is coming. The air is heavy with the unspoken realization that something has changed, something unstoppable, something undeniable. The ones who worked against you, who sought to bury the truth beneath layers of deception, can no longer ignore what is unfolding before them. They are watching, waiting, realizing that their efforts were in vain. They tried to silence you, to keep you hidden, to make you believe that you were just another ordinary soul. But you were never meant to stay buried. The moment they feared the most has arrived. You are awakening. The chains of illusion are breaking. The truth that was long suppressed is rising. And with it, so are you. There will still be resistance. There will still be voices whispering doubt. People who will try to convince you that you are not who you were always meant to be. They will fight to hold on to their illusion of control, clinging desperately to the power they were never meant to have. But their time is running out. The truth is no longer in their hands. The kingdom has been waiting. It has prepared for this moment since the beginning. And now, the time has come. No more delays. No more distractions. No more doubting what has been placed within you. If you have felt this truth resonate within you, if you know deep down that you were meant for something greater, then this journey is only just beginning. There is more to uncover, more to reveal, more to step into. Thank you for being here, for seeking, for listening. If this message has spoken to you, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what comes next. There are revelations ahead that you do not want to miss. The time is now. The kingdom is calling. Will you answer?